Egg, food kit noodles.
Got a mouse.
Oh, God. I'm not that good.
夜だけど二人刻もう
Okay. No, save. Save the project. Double click on the thing. Walk away. Oh. Oh, it works. Okay, I'm gonna go take a break.
Very just because camera.
Holy shit, can I fucking write private? I gotta do something. I feel like nobody's watching, so. It doesn't match me. Fuck that real quick. This one. Okay, hopefully that works.
As a .get component call, therefore it makes sense to cache this value inside of this main camera variable. Now let's actually make two methods where the game object is going to follow the mouse. So we're going to have a private void follow mouse position. So this is simple. To implement that, we're going to see in this. So first of all, let's zoom in a little bit and let's see the main camera and actually see it inside of. Yes. same as a .get component call. Therefore, it makes sense to cache. GameObject is going to follow the mouse. So we're going to have a private void follow mouse position. So this is simply a method where this GameObject is going to follow the mouse position. For that, we'll actually need a helper method, and that's going to return a vector2, and that's going to be the get world position. From mouse. Now the reason why we need this is because the mouse position.
Mouse position. That we get from input.mouse position actually needs to be converted into world coordinates, and this is then basically handled by this method, and that is done by doing main camera.screen to world point. Very important that you select the correct method, and inside of here we're going to put in input.mouse position. Main camera screen to record.
So this is the entire return here, and putting this in this helper method just makes it a little bit cleaner in terms of in the follow mouse position. What we're going to do is we're going to say transform.position. So this is simply this position of the game object that this script is attached to, and we're going to set this to the get world position from mouse, and that's basically. Inside of the update method, then this will already work totally fine. So let's actually test it. Right, let's start the game and let's see. And as you can see, work totally fine. So let's actually test it. Right. Method.
What the fuck do you mean?
Then this will all switch to the player. Let's just twice acid it. So mouse block and let's see what we can.
Physics. Cup powder. Soup powder. Physics. Richer body. Use gravity. You gotta be kidding me. Input system. What does pass-through mean? I forgot how the goddamn Unity input system works. input system.
Restart. Then you can close down the project settings. So to start, use actions over here, and this is what our input will do. So for example, we will call this first one by double clicking on it for jump. So our action will be a jump. Then we can see over here our action properties. Over here, the action type is right now set to button, but we also have value and pass through. The only important ones are value and button. Value would be useful for something like the mouse, for example. When you move it around, you could have a vector 2, so an X and Y values. You could also do that with a gamepad controller for the sticks. But we will choose button, which will be useful for pressing, releasing and holding. And if we click over here on interactions, the plus icon, we have all of these. These will do different things. We will use press, but we don't need to add that because that's the default, so let's not add anything. Then we also have processors. You can see a bunch down here. They will change the value, which will come out of the action, but I'll show you how useful they are later. So let's just keep it like this. Now we can click on this drop down where we can see a binding. So we want a button to be pressed to activate this jump, and we can do that over here by choosing the path. So I can click right here and you can see all of these. You could of course find them yourself, but you can also just click on listen, and I want the space key, so I'll hit the space key, and yep, you can see it right here. We have the space, and there's also the any key, but we'll choose space, keyboard, and that's an easier way to do that. If this binding was not added automatically, you could have clicked up here and clicked on add binding. But what is so cool about all of this is that you can just click here and add another binding, and you could add, for example, let's say you also wanted some gamepad key. So let's say you wanted button south, which would be X on a PlayStation controller, for example. And because it's south, that will work for all of the different gamepads. But let's just remove this one for now. So now I hit Ctrl S to save the asset, so it's all saved. And now let's create a cube which jumps when we hit the space key. So I'll just go to scene real quick, then I'll right click in here and create a 3D object, so a cube. And let's set it to 0, 0, 0. And this will be our ground, so it will be 100 by 100. So now we have a big ground here. And let's just call it ground. Then I'll right click again, go to 3D object and choose another cube, which we'll call player. I'll just create a material called red, make it red, and let's drag it on so we can easily see the player. Now let's set this player to 0, 2, and 0. You can see him over here. And let's add a rigid body to this, and we'll now add a player input, which is very useful. And what we can now do is drag our player input right here onto the actions field. So now it's on here, and we can see the default map. We only have the player, so if we look here in player input, we can see we only have this player action map. But you could of course have more and choose the default one. Then we have behavior down here, where we have a few options. The first option is send messages. This is a useful way to invoke your functions, for example the jump function. So if you have a script on this exact game object, you could write this one on jump. So basically the name of this and on in front of it, and then it would automatically trigger that function. Then we have broadcast messages, which is almost the same, but it will also trigger these functions on child objects. Then we have invoke Unity events. If we click on that one, you can open this one and you can see these device lost event. So this is if I unplug my keyboard. Here we have regained, so if I plug it in. It could also be for the controller and so on, and controls changed. But here if we click right here, you can see our action map called player. Here we have the jump function. We could hit the plus icon and then we could add the function in here. So let's try and do that. So we'll create a new C# script over here. So I'll right click and create a mono behavior script called player. Open this up. In here I'll delete all of this for now, and then I will add a private rigid body called RB, and in an awake function I'll set RB to get component rigid body. So now we have the rigid body, and then we can create a public void jump function. It has to be public, where we can do RB.add force new vector 3 0, 1, 0, only in the y direction. Maybe this is not enough, let's set it to 10. And let's also debug.log a jump, so we know it actually jumped. Now if we head back into Unity and we click on our player and add the player script, we can on our events right here on the player, drag the player script onto here and choose no function, go to the player script and choose our jump function. So now the jump action will call our jump function. So if
Ugh. So if I go to Apple, Apple input system. Virtual icons. Oh my fucking god. Yeah. Oh, the fuck. Button and also mouse slash button. Position.
If we now go to game and hit play, we can go to our console, and then we can hit space. And yeah, the force wasn't enough, as you can see. But if you look down here, you can see that our jump function was called 3 times. And that's a bit when the button was pressed. There's one for it is being pressed, and we have one for the button release. So it triggers all of these 3 for our space button. So if I just clear it and I hold it, you can see it's only 2, and when I release, you can see the 3rd one. So how should we fix so it's only 1? Well, let me show you. So let's stop the game. Then let's open these events again, and you can see right here we have a callback context which you could input. So if we go into Unity, we could up here add using Unity engine.input system. So in here we can do input action.callback context. We can just call it context. And
How the fuck does this input work? Input system fucking. Input player input manager assessment. I just want. Something up. That's all I fucking want, but now the new input system, I just can't fucking figure it out.
script is attached to, and
Oh, too fucking dumb.
And instead of here, well, let me show you. So let's.
Mm, mouse position. Mouse position. Equals camera to screen to wall.
we're going to set this follow mouse position inside of the update method, then this will already work totally fine. So let's actually test it. Right, let's start the game. I can move it fast, I can move it slow. There's now perfect. Let's actually test it. Right.
welcome. I'm your code monk. This is and all I have is action is on down. Okay, and so let's log on the mouse line of it. So now let's turn array from the camera to playing. All right, awesome. However, there's one potential issue here. So I'm going to drag a building onto the scene. Okay, so I added this building. And now if I put the mouse over, yep, there you go. As you can see, the mouse is indeed interacting with the building. So instead of placing the mouse on the floor, it's placing it on top of the building. Now, maybe this is what you want. For example, if you want to do some shooting, then this would be correct. However, let's say that you are making a city building game or an RTS, and what you want is for the position to be on the ground and not collide with is the actual point where the ray does work. So
Ah, fuck it. Create script. What the fuck is script? Oh.
ような夜だけどどよめききらめきと君も、まだ止まった刻む針